All right, time to install some new parts today on the 2023 XC300. Been a while since I've done a video. Been busy with a lot of other stuff, but now we got a lot of things to work on. So let's get at it, show you what's going on. So I got the suspension back from Ride JBI, forks and shock are all dialed. And now it is time to get the stabilizer on there. So I've already gone ahead and pulled the upper clamp, greased all my upper lower bearings, and so now we're going to be swapping out the bars to my Fasstco Flexxbars and installing the new stabilizer from Precision. So I put on their bar mounts. So these are actually a split design mount. It's two pieces. You can see they kind of float here in the clamps. That is by design. I emailed them a bunch asking if that's right or if it should be flush. They assured me it's supposed to be that way because they have O-rings throughout the center that it sits on to help absorb vibration. And then their one-piece clamp, which is important for that stabilizer. And then got the neck piece on there, which is actually a split design. It went on super easy. You don't have to pull the top clamp to do that. I chose to, but let's see if we can see it over there. You can see that. Yep. So that's all buttoned up. That went on really nicely. So now let's check out the parts and start doing some swaps. All right, so I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've already done a video going over this Precision Racing damper. But here we have the rest of the parts to install it. This is actually the old stock clamp from the bike. So there's your one-piece bar mount. That doesn't work because this needs to go over the bars, kind of like so. And so this top also wouldn't work for the mount. So old parts now. This is the old stock. It's a one-piece rubberized unit. Or was it two? Oh, it looks like it was two. There's just a piece of metal that goes by here. So that's gone. So we'll be installing the damper, mounts. This is going to be for cable management. And then a little dust shield and an adjuster tool so that we can adjust our high speed right here. So you actually stick that in, and that's how you would adjust the high speed. Kind of get it set, and then as you adjust your low speed, you kind of get your high speed set, and then you just play with your low speed while you ride. So Flexxbars by Fasstco, I've already swapped out to the blue or softer dampening bushings. Or actually that's the dampening and compression. The downward force, they come with reds. This is the firmest. Yellow is your medium. I typically run a blue inside, yellow outside, but I'm going to try red on the outside just for now, see how it feels. All right, so before we do any more, one thing I noticed is I actually want to swap my start over onto the clutch side. Just makes it easier for races, or if you are trying to handle the bike. To me, it's way easier to have it on the left side than the right side. I know most people like it on the right side, but I'm a little different. So I do want to kind of keep the same wiring setup. I've already cut this zip tie. I'm just going to mark where it was so that when I swap these around, I know exactly where to zip tie the start cable, right about there. And then same for over here. I'm just going to cut that and I'll mark it here. Just try to keep it as clean and mostly stock factory looking as possible. I'll be using black when I do it. The green just is my guide for knowing where it is. All right, now let's grab some bars and swaps. All right, so the way I like to do it is I'm just going to go through, loosen everything up here. We're not going to take everything off, we're just going to loosen it. Okay. Now we just slide everything off, slide it on, but because I am swapping these around, it's going to be a little bit more in depth. So I'm just going to pull this guy off to the side for now. And my throttle will be the same. Sometimes it's really hard depending on the bike. You got to get this throttle just right, get enough stretch out of the cable. These KTMs though, because they go to that side, makes it really easy. Just hang that down there. All right, let's see. Just enough room, slide this guy off. Transfer it over here to this side. And we'll do the same over here. Let's see. Just enough room. And we will reroute it over here. Okay. So, now we just slide. And of course, not enough clutch line. So that'll have to come off. So this is technically the first time I'm doing a newer KTM. I was hoping it would be like some of my older bikes where it was just a lot easier. Let's see, maybe turning the bars in will help me out there. There we go. Yep, just had to turn those bars in. Okay, and slide it on in. Can now slide on my start stop. My grip. We're done on that side. Come around. There we go. So we'll go ahead and pull the bars off real quick and get that going. Okay, so it's going to be a little tricky to do this because of our solid one piece up here, but to mount the stabilizer, we actually have to keep the bars loose in the clamps. So try to line them up the best you can for where you're going to want them for when we install the stabilizer. It's probably the hardest part of the whole install. So we're going to take our guide here, cable guide, slip it over the post down here, and then take, got the big side, little side, take the little side, slide it down over here. And then we need to get that all the way down. Okay. Now we take stabilizer, and let's see if I can just to get some slack here. Maybe it'll make things a little easier to see. So this part right here pivots. Slide this in. It's going to have some resistance. Probably see it here every time you slide it in, it kind of pops itself back up. Just kind of work it and then it'll get settled in there. And the stabilizer damper will go there. Now, come around here. I'm going to just gently get these set for now. You don't want to go too tight with these initially because we have to be able to move the damper around to find out exactly where the happy spot's going to be. That also will be determined by getting our bars set exactly where we need them. I don't want to do that yet. So I typically like to run my bars in line with the forks, kind of a neutral position. Seems almost centered. And one other thing, let's see, really got to watch our gap here. That looks about right. You don't want a major gap there, and you want these to be about as centered as possible. Looks like we are kind of there. Do a quick test real quick just to get an idea. Let's see here. About 5 to the end of the nut. 5 to the washer, yep, okay. I'm going really slow here. I'm trying to do pretty even pressure. Watching this gap here to make sure it's about even for the top and bottom. Okay. Checking my gap down here. We're good. Okay. So we should be good to where I'm just going to toss the top clamp on, which you can see is designed to perfectly fit around how that mounts. So it gives us a nice, sturdy bars combined, tied in, but okay, so those are on there enough to where I can start at least testing everything. Get this twisted up here. It's not all weird. Okay, so we're just going to go for the side-to-side motion, see how it feels. I'm going to lift this rear back. All right, so now that everything's on there, you kind of slide this boot down. So we've got just tiniest little gap there. And we're going to slowly move this back and forth. You can see it lifts. Okay. Move this over here a little. All right, so now let's see if it at least grabs. So we got a loose, good loose movement. We're hitting our actual frame stops. So from center, let's whack it. No. There we go. It's a little soft, but turn up the low speed a little. Definitely grabs harder. So that's a good spot. We're at 3.5 right now. Okay, so that is that. Check a little boot here. Make sure our clamp hasn't moved, which it has not. Give you kind of a walk around, show you how it all looks. Those are going to be the bolts. Mount it. Okay. So there you go. It's pretty easy, looking good. Oh, we got to clean up the throttle lines. Still getting used to the fact that a 2-stroke has 2 throttle cables. So that's what this guy right here was for. So we'll fix our little dust boot. Make sure it's all over how it should. Okay, so it wraps around there. You got this hard piece of plastic. And then this is going to go around like so. Kind of even these out. And the idea behind it is so that your cables don't get tangled up within here. So, no matter what, they're always out of the way. It seems a little too far out of the way. I'd almost like this cut down. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to cut that. Pull this off. It just seems a little bit long. I'm just going to cut that down a hair. And then to do it, you just pull it through, wrap it back through. Oh, don't be an idiot. Put it back on here first, then feed it through. Yeah, that seems a little better. Okay. I mean, I honestly don't even know if it's needed. I guess it could possibly get back there, but there we go. That's not too bad if you kind of tuck that up near the front. Yeah. Okay. Now, all right, there we go. All done. Button it up and get all the cabling routed and cleaned up, but you guys know what that looks like. You don't need me to show you. All right, thanks for checking it out. And thanks for Fasst Company, Flexxbars, always taking care of me. Logan's an awesome guy over there. He's taken care of me for many years and I absolutely love the bars. excited to try this Precision dampener out. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, haven't really ridden the bike much. Haven't even touched the JBI suspension yet, but excited to go try that. And that's it. So thanks for checking out the video again. And if you have any questions on FXR, shoot me an email with the address below. We'll get you a discount on that gear, get you set up for 2023.